you have to balance it to a level where make it work for your system.
And you know, let me just interject one thing too. When we talk about GMO, we have to really think about it because not all GMO is bad.
Yeah.
You must understand, not all GMO is bad.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we try
Please
to
break down GMO. Please break down GMO. What are you doing? You know better than that.
I mean, who wants to do it? Doctor, you want to take that for me?
Listen, no. You're not everybody. Listen, everybody who over here, so them 17 people here, the same number of people are fluctuate. Anybody over here, so listen now. You're not have to break that down to them, bro. When you see gone up in 200, that means the idiot them over here sit down and listen, bro. You have to study the life. You know?
That's a good point.
Everybody who there so right now, watch the numbers.
Yeah, I'm careful enough.
Continue, DJ. Continue.
Listen,
no,
watch.
But I'm just saying.
One
Let me
second
give
panel.
let me give them one example.
May I go into the secret, bro? You have to study the panel, study the numbers. Just everybody who over here at this point, they're willing to learn something, bro. All of the idiot them gone. So earlier, I say, you know, so me that go start over about the live and come back again because listen, we over here, so we have a whole lot of sense. We, you know, make no sense what we are doing right now, no. Me I be honest with you, you know. Because guess what? We not have no idiot over here. We not have no idiot in the midst, bro. You see, all right, when you see this go up to like,
that's why it's so calm.
That's why it's so calm. All right, watch it.
Yeah, it's calm and listen, you feel like you feed your brain with
all right, watch it. Even though what we are doing now,
look,
even though what we are doing, it is good. Most of the stuff what we hear, so a bounce off of one another, it gonna be to the betterment of us. But the idiot them on the one side, that is why I don't want to see breeze in it, because when the idiot them hear him, sometimes they stop. But anyways, when you have a bunch of people with sense in one location,
going to stay.
You have to understand, say, it not really make no sense. You have to make sure, say, the idiot them there, and you can't stay upon them good topic, because when the idiot them hear them topic, they're gonna leave. So you have to spoon feed them in and out.
Robinson,
in and out. Yeah.
Robinson, you have a good point, because Gemini and I going into farming.
Yeah.
I know me a Philippine. I'm going into welding. Shabba. Welding. Me going in now.
Well, whoever the one that was actually suggesting.
Sometimes I wish we could have laid black castle.
And welding me going now. Me interested in a pipe fitting.
Well, I know. Look the panel. Like I say, we may not pay attention to it, but it is very serious, because just watch the numbers and see. Everybody who
you said that yesterday, no?
And I will join because I already in the farming.
So you see, even though what we are saying over here, so point a good point and it makes sense.
I will join because I already in the farming.
You understand what I say?
Yeah. Because you said it yesterday and I realized it.
Yeah.
But you know, go lie.
But look, 1 second, DJ. Me not cut it. 1 second, bro. You see, if you get to the people, them, bro. Some of the time you have to have some of the fuckery in the thing, because that is the only way you can capture the masses, bro.
You can draw them in.
Yes. So if we just over here start pay conscious thing, bro, me I tell you it now gonna make no sense.
That's why me tell you, me want the opposition.
You remember me tell you, DJ
today.
No, you can't, Gemini, stop it.
No, you remember me tell you, DJ, sometimes we have to go in this pigsty to mingle with them, and then we come out. If we the upper side will be a good, bro, it's pointless, bro. May I tell you the truth? Me study them people for too long, bro.
Like you said, going to work, punching in, and then leave.
Robinson just start.
Maybe about 3 weeks or right little bit
before. Yes, remember when you find him, Shabba, when you find Robinson,
actually, it was about like 2 weeks ago. Funny enough.
2 weeks. It's his first live I was on. His first live. And you know, I don't know move. 2 weeks ago.
I that me tell him, Philip, I'm wishing he
never there in an election.
He would have run them red.
I don't think in election this live would, because in election everybody was just too heated one way or the other. Yeah. This is productive. So I don't think it would have actually worked.
No, but we had productive live. We had some live where we were just giving out information, especially when I was live, right?
Philippians, listen what me I say again, Mama.
But they would torture him.
The productive lives, them not make. Listen, the productive lives do not make any sense, because everybody over there. I don't mean to be disrespectful, you know, but everybody over there have sense, bro. Look on the numbers, it's still there 116. So everybody talk and bounce ideas. We are well-thinking people. So what we are do now really do nothing. When time we in at the midst of the idiot them, we have to talk some of them good things here, as well as we have to talk mix up because we have to keep them here.
The Dunce algorithm is not peaking.
Exactly.
Let me be the opposition and let me just say that Andrew did steal my wallet.
Be the opposition.
No, I just want to say that Andrew steal my wallet.
No, Matthew.
All right, so Matthew,
listen, for we do it. So Robert say about PNP and he want to learn. Yeah, anybody. All right, you think so everybody who there are labor, right? PNP there too. But those are the ones that want to learn. But the thing is, we cannot say, all right, only way to get this life you see, send the algorithm, push it to certain people, is if we over here so, and we go so bam and close the live and start again. And then when we start again, you see some of them sensical things that we attack, we have to go reverse and set them back again, and then we come off of it, and then we talk some fuckery. Because with that,
Robinson, remember say was it at the smart city company it really raise you up to 500 and 600. Remember 700 then the first week when we met, when we did over here, we just a meeting and something we thought with the smart city and the hurricane.
Gemini, technically that's a small number.
Exactly.
Right. No man, me I tell you, remember saying him just start.
Listen, I just start this whole TikTok thing. But I've been studying
views, man.
I've been studying these people. Them on a conscious mindset, them disappear. When you start with the foolishness, mixing with the conscious thing, they're gonna get it, and then you give them back them entertainment, because you can't take the entertainment from the people and try to give them beer sense, virgin.
You know what? Case in point, Robinson, when you put up the meme about the opposition, Marky G make the hurricane.
No, DJ, you're making a point before Robinson interrupt you. So if you can remember what it was,
exactly.
Try to go back.
No, go back to GMO.
Justice coming out of box.
Yo, no, so what I say though, I ignore the points Andrew send the hurricane. That one I ignore. And just ignore the point to the man send the hurricane.
No, we have to start.
That's for later.
Go on, we have to start that on the new live again. For now, we have to.
Mr. Robinson, Justice in our box.
Justice come in the box.
DJ continue with GMO.
Yeah. All right. Yes. So let me just say still, because I said the GMO. There's
no worries.
Guys, I always say two things can be right at the same time. When it comes to GMO, there's good and there's bad about it, right? I'm gonna give you something that's good about it, right? And this might be a little controversial with some people. The ocean, right? A lot of us like to eat fish, and the ocean is filled with a lot of plastic, and we're consuming a lot of fish. So we body full of plastic right now, plastic, right? So you have some people that have a farm raised fish, right? So they feed the fish a certain way. The fish is grown in a pond. It's controlled. It's not eating plastic out there. It's not a bottom feeder, right? So that's a good thing. So they say it's a GMO. It's not really like they alter the fish it's same fish, but it's not living in a polluted environment anymore. That is
salmon and tilapia.
Like example, tilapia and salmon. If I go to the store and I'm gonna buy salmon, I'm more lean to buying the farm raised salmon because I know what it's been eating, comparing to a salmon that's out there eating plastic all day, right? You have corns because over time, our ancestors, or some not ancestors, older farmers was using so much fertilizer, it ruined the soil, right? So companies that make seeds have to go in and say, okay, we have to make a seed that can grow in this soil because the soil is pretty much destroyed. Or the climate is changing, so it's getting warmer in certain places and these people have to eat. So we're going to generically modify these seeds so they can grow in this temperature because of global warming, right? So in some ways, it's good and it's bad at the same time in some ways. Over fertilizing something, we know is not good.
May I say
You know
something
what I mean?
about
Global warming does not
Molly?
exist.
You
No.
said something about the salmon, but when I was working at a restaurant, people would just say, "Is it wild caught?" Wild caught, and the chef would say, "Yes, tell me it's wild caught."
Yes, because some people the taste, right? So some people will say, okay, the wild caught salmon tastes a little bit better than the farm raised.
The
And it's
sweet.
gonna be more
So
expensive
not
for how they
sugar
call
make
it.
things sweet. That don't mean if you eat a whole bunch, drink a whole bunch of sugar every day, right? So you
But
have to be. No, I'm just saying
Well,
because
that's a
yes,
dumb question for them to ask a Jamaican restaurant if it's wild catch.
No, it's just there's been a stigma. There's been a stigma just behind like tilapia. Once they hear it's farm raised, people figure, oh no, I don't want that tilapia because they modified it. But what they don't
Boy, it's the
realize,
best thing when it roast though, when it's stuffed and roast, are the best thing that you better than even a snapper.
yeah, well, what people don't realize, I guess, is because once they hear the word GMO and it's not wild caught, they automatically think it will be similar to giving that fish fertilizer, where it's steroids and. But we live in a time right now. I hate to tell you guys, this may be controversial as much as DJ thought what he said was controversial. But let's use KFC. In order to keep up with the KFC
Yeah, don't
of
go there,
Jamaica,
Shabba.
I know,
Shabba, don't go
I
there.
know,
You go
Shabba,
there.
it seems like
Listen,
one second, Shabba.
I
It
see
seems
what's
like in the
Cambodies.
UK. One second, Shabba. It seems like in the UK when you go to the shop, you ask for the Allah chicken and the normal chicken. Cause you see the Allah chicken, that the one they drain out all the bloods out of it.
and it's supposed to be blessed by
And
a rabbi.
The Muslim food, it's have a word,
Yeah.
man. What the word?
Halal.
What word, Shabba? There's
Allah food. Allah day.
halal, yes.
Halal.
A lady came to my workplace and asked me what in London, and we said, and Mr. Tim said, tell her no, we don't. Don't you tell her yes, because if you tell her yes, you're going to be in trouble. You know what
Yeah.
she mean by halal? Them I thought, Mama said, do not tell her
It's
we don't
blessed.
do it in Jamaica.
When it
Don't.
comes to
be blessed by a
halal,
rabbi.
there's no blood. They
Halal have
drain-
a special tag on their logo. There's a logo there that tells them when they go to the supermarket, they know what they're looking for. If you telling that, can you show them halal and a CB chicken bag? No, then tell them no, we don't do it here.
KFC.
Because a lot of people don't understand what is halal.
Yo, because
No, you can't tell them that
Make
in
we hear what
Jamaica,
the
Matthew, we
doctor say
don't
about
do it.
KFC though, because KFC are ruining the country, you know. So we need to hear about KFC.
Kingston Fall Cook.
yo, allow the KFC no, man, because anytime I land in Jamaica, that's the first thing I
No,
do.
Listen,
no,
no,
about KFC
Shabbat.
now.
Matthew,
Dr.
Matthew, make
Shabba is
Shabbat.
Dr. Shabba is Kingston Fall Cook.
Yo, listen,
Kingston
Milton, I
folk
will
could be a
listen.
shower.
I will be going to war over KFC, so don't come back and mention
No
KFC.
worry about it. Shabbat, me want Shabbat talk, Matthew, because these people, them talk, I'm not saying on Shabbat, more you talk, please.
No, I don't want to go into it as much as what DJ started saying, you know, where there's good and there's bad. But whenever you have to have a production of anything where you have to get it pumping out, technically it gets modified where, yeah, that chicken may take 5 weeks opposed to 1 week. So if you kind of have that mindset, even the KFC itself, no one is actually going to Jamaica and going out to these farms and go get no, farm fed chicken to go put in KFC, because then it would never be a profit. So if someone can come to you and say, well, we can produce X amount of chicken, where you may not 100% sure know how the chicken came to be chicken, it's genetically modified.
Yo,
They
Lord,
process. They process. They call it process.
all if I rat meat, me still eat it. So just
Yeah.
know it.
They call it process.
Isn't it?
But Shabba, why more you talk about it? What do you go there? I said to Mom, Mommy, you don't feel like a young chicken in America. Why the legs so small and the wings so fine? You can't buy two piece originally now. You're embarrassing. You see, the little fine wing where you get and the little leg. I said, Mommy, you don't feel like a young chicken. KFC buy the young chicken from Best Race or CD because
Well, you
why
know what?
so
It's not necessarily young, because I
No.
always compare the chicken in Jamaica, because KFC in Jamaica have to buy a certain amount of chicken that's grown on the island, and chickens in America, bro, the chicken them so big here comparing to Jamaica.
Yo.
The chicken them here come like turkey comparing to
DJ,
Marley.
So you
Marley.
understand? Say,
DJ, let me cut you real quick. If you had a 3-piece in the United States in comparison to Jamaica, the 3-piece can fit in the box. And yet, still, if it was in the USA, that same 3-piece probably couldn't fit in the box. They would have to have a bigger box to put the 3-piece.
Dr. Shabba, my mom lives in the Bahamas. America, them get their meat from, right? And she has said to me, say, boy, she have a restaurant. She said she prefer cooking in a restaurant, but she ain't cooking herself because she don't like her chicken just big. She said the chicken too big. You know, she said, why probably sick me if me cook this chicken. She
And
said
the
the
amount,
fry can give about 3 pieces, you know? 3 big pieces, you know?
and the amount you actually spend in America on food. People like to complain about the food prices, but the fact of the matter, the large portion that you're getting on basic food, it makes the food prices there a little bit more understandable. Because if you go to any other country, listen, I went to South Korea and I would try to buy something. I tried to buy some chicken, and the chicken them did small. I mean, I think to myself, oh, listen, I'm gonna fill myself up with this.
Yeah.
Guys, I just want to interject a bit on doing this
Welcome
thing.
back, Kingo.
Yeah, man, I
Good
different.
morning,
You know, so
welcome.
I was on it even Sunday with I feel nice and energetic and well. But one more answer still. I see Dr. Matthew, all of you guys on the panel. Honestly, I gotta tell you guys, at one point in time, but I lose hope. And when I tell you seriously, me have a 4-year-old son, and I was losing hope to see where this country with the people, and when we come up and I hear them, I spread some things. And Matthew, I salute you. Doctor, I salute you, and everybody on the panel. I might not call them by name. You keep up the fight for me, please. You don't even know how much this means to me. You see, education, man.
If you get to one person, that's a plus.
Listen, me tell you, man, I'm proud of you, and I just want to keep it up and keep up the fight, man. Trust me. I don't know reach far and wide, so just keep it up, all right? And salute to all of you guys.
Yeah, man, no problem.
Yeah, bless up yourself, Kingo.
I think I'm actually the youngest person here, you know.
Yeah, man, me I learn.
Yeah, I'm 20.
Oh my, I'm
Yeah,
older
yeah.
than you by 4.
So you could have been my son then,
You know,
Matthew.
Matthew, a warrior still, you know, me have to give him props, you know, because me go for enough.
Yeah, man, and he knows his
like to
knowledge.
see Matthew, you know. And Matthew can't get into the trenches, you know. Matthew a real warrior, you know. So we have to give him respect. Yeah,
Philippian, you know who Matthew man we have? We name Tari. We have a next guy named Tari. And Tari called nationwide and explain the constitution with the FID, you know.
You know, DJ.
That's how smart he is, you know.
Hey,
He's really good.
I'm
I
taking
don't know if I can explain the entire constitution. I'd have to do some reading up on that first.
If my daughter older than Matthew.
I haven't
Wait,
seen
you said-
Tari. I
My
haven't
daughter
seen
older than
Tari.
Matthew.
Tari's in school now. He's in school. Remember saying
Oh, yes,
university.
yeah.
now,
When
so
him up, he's in university now.
Yeah, man, he's
He's
18.
studying law, right?
I think so,
I think
yeah.
he's studying law, yes.
He was
Matthew,
one who
Oh,
called and
so
explained the
proud of him.
constitution. And if you know constitution, you know the constitution is so darn hard to read.
Matthew, the only competition I may say you have is that girl named Navi.
Oh, well, she's going to Harvard anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really fair. It's not really fair anyways, because I'm not going to Harvard.
I know, but I'm just saying the competition as far as being a youngster.
Yeah, I mean, I realize a lot of persons like develop themselves mostly in one area, but I try to just have general knowledge of as much stuff as I can.
Yeah.
Because, Wanda, you can mute for a second because you're giving a feedback, bro. Yeah. I try to have as much general knowledge as possible because, like, I'm not the type of person who's just interested in law or interested in one. Like, I look at a topic and I'll try my best to understand it if it's necessary to a conversation that I'm having. That's why I realized when I was speaking to the person before quickly, and I first just dove into a source and then read upon it a little bit and thought about if it made sense, and then I brought the topic to the person. But I don't usually focus just on one topic. I try to have knowledge about a wide variety of stuff.
A road scholar.
But what's his name? Tari is 18 now. Because I think September was his birthday. He was a bit disappointed that he could not vote in the last election.
Oh.
He was
Well, you
17.
don't want to big up some of the female, let me know, because me have said it still. I want to big up Philippian and I want to big up Goody and Gemini. Because I remember me tell you, sometimes we have to pull back Philippian, listen.
And Kerry.
Hey, listen, and Kerry. And media.
Philippian, we done them in the listen, Goody, Philippian and Kerry, their temper is different. Their patience is, me alone have patience. They're not enough patience.
But yesterday, man, that boy, when he came K-Dog, he really riled me up.
Yeah, man, I try.
No.
Me couldn't
Philippine,
touch
London
it,
really
foolish
jarred
man.
me out. London really put me on the edge. I point to me one of them black London. And the worst, even the worst never meet up
That
on.
was the
I
worst.
always try my best to have like at least one common ground or reach one, because if you saw the conversation I had with the gentleman before, I reached out to him and I kept asking him if we could agree first on one point, because if we can agree on one point, then the conversation is going to go somewhere
forward.
Yeah, because if I'm telling you basic facts and you're not willing to agree to that, then we can't really, because you're going to refute it. And the worst people in my head are the people who, like, we're discussing one topic, then you shift and dive to another topic. And I'm thinking to myself, listen here, how am I supposed to keep up with what you're saying? How am I supposed to give a proper rebuttal if you keep just mentioning stuff and having me fumbling trying to reach for an answer to everything? Because as much as smart as I want to be, listen, if you mention 5 topics, I'm going to forget most of them, and I'm only going to remember one of the topics that you mentioned. So I can't do that.
It is about, and this is where people lose it when they come online and they want to go into somebody's live and they realize they have to have some type of debating skills. I mean, if you jump into someone's live and just start talking emotions, you're gonna get nowhere. You have to be open. You have to be open to listen, because in every debate you're going to learn something.
You know the journalist in England named Noel. That journalist we like him like a,
hold on.
me can't stand him, you know.
I can't stand him. He
Why
was
me block him and me see him come back? I think when you black people.
Yo, I tried when it came to Noel. I tried very hard to go on his live and explain to. I even tried to reach out to him and say, listen. If you want to, and the man never blocked me. I dare him to try and block me. I dare him.
1 second panel. Second panel. And then disappear.
Yeah.
Them are going to give you SYM or them are going to block you.
Yeah. That means some
is
black
Noel
him.
even Jamaican?
So let me ask you some. How this blocking thing work? And me blocking. Me say me panel live and then me access back in. What the blocking thing don't work?
All I want to know is Noel Jamaican?
Yeah, myself.
You can block somebody off your live, but if you are on somebody else's live, they can come on that live and see
his
you.
page, but me blocking page. I mean, I don't know, Mr. Lasim.
If you can see him on other live,
Noel
yes.
Jamaican, guys? Is Noel Jamaican?
That's the important question. Is he Jamaican?
No.
I know.
You know what? Is the fact that we have the legislation for people to be travel banned from Jamaica, but we're not doing it. He should be travel banned from Jamaica. All if PNP. I don't listen here. All if PNP cry and ball. He should be banned from the. You see,
persona non grata.
Yes, it pisses me off so much when I just see the fact that we have laws to actually tackle people like these, and I just sitting there all because we have to talk about being democratic and respecting journalists. Listen, once a journalist is no longer independent, I don't care if it's if you're a JLP journalist, you should not be a journalist. If you're loyal to either party, it should just not happen. I don't believe in that. Whether you're JLP or PNP, you should not be a journalist. A journalist is supposed to be an independent source who will call out because listen, I do not agree with everything the government has done. When they did the wage hike, that was one time I was vocal and I said the only thing I really supported when it came to that wage their wage reason, because their wage is also their wage is also their wage
gardener to the attendant, everybody from the bottom to the top got an increase. And
I'm all for that, but what I'm saying when it came to that, I was mostly for the fact that the permanent secretaries got the raise, because even though their wages is, I believe it's I was told by my aunt that their wages attached a little bit to the minister's wage. So but at the same time, I think it should be detached, and that permanent secretary should have just gotten a larger wage hike closer to the ministers at the time, without having to raise the ministers and the prime minister's wage. Like, I did not support that at all, and I was vocal about that. But overall, I don't see anything the government has done that is worth too much vocalization.
That is the 200% increase you're talking about?
I'm talking about the increase. Listen, I'm not against it. I'm not against I wasn't against the increase. I was against the increase of the government, of the cabinet and the politicians.
I understand what you mean.
I wasn't against it. You know why? It was the entire public service from the man at the bottom come up to the top.
Even the judge
hold
and
on,
the
hold on,
superintendent.
Gemini. Hold on. So everyone was included, and the politicians, they did not. We have to realize that the politicians are running a country, right? And they did not get a raise for about 10 years, I believe. So I think they deserved it, right? And the Prime Minister getting 9 million. The Prime Minister getting 9 million. That's a chicken feed.
But check this out. When you look at wages in those government jobs too, we have to so we want great minds in some of these government jobs. And if a man can look on a private sector job in Jamaica or in another country that's going to pay him way more, sometimes you might not want to give these people that high raise, but we have to give them to get great minds, right? And get good people in these positions too.
Because we could not afford a Nigel Clark and that rate.
Oh yes, that's what I was just about to say.
Even the one that we are giving, he was getting before he left. Nigel Clark was he was such, you know,
he was above his time.
He was
He
was a true leader. Yes, and you notice the persons that the Prime Minister are getting. You don't even have to be in politics. The Prime Minister will get a person like the Education Minister.
But Philippians, you see,
Favor Williams, whatever.
The reason I was against the wage hike.
And you want to cut corruption as well. So you pay them, you pay the judge them
but
good.
The reason I was against,
and you want to cut corruption as well. So you pay them, you pay the judge them
but
good.
The reason I was against it because basically if you look at the matter of the fact, they also have government benefits that also cover certain stuff. So that's why I was, and like the money that they get paid out, they don't really have to spend it that much on anything other than them personal selves, to be honest.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah,
maybe they're getting classification included some of the benefits in the pay. So if I was getting, say I'm a lawyer and I am getting tailoring, entertainment, robing, and whatever, let me take out the entertainment and certain things like housing, and then leave robing and library allowance and all of that.
Well, you guys, you know one thing that was affecting it too as a reason. Listen, the reason also why I was against it is if you look at it this way too, like I wouldn't have a problem if the reclassification was also good, but my main problem is the politicians really the only thing that should be subsidized is the security detail, because that is something that should be protected by the state. But now that they're earning so much, I don't think they should have little to no benefits anymore. That's my personal opinion.
Well, I don't know what the benefits are right now for them. But I can tell you that currently, for example, me, I am getting one allowance when I go to a particular place and I stay up until, say, when they're having an event for like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock at night and up, I get an allowance for that. But I don't get no other allowance. I get uniform allowance.
Yeah, because remember,
and I get travel, I get mileage allowance.
Once you're in the public sector, no one is gonna sit there and get wealthy off of the public sector. And to keep bright minds, you do have to make sure. I mean, hence the reason why Clark, IMF came and said, oh, we need this mine. And I guess it was easy for him to say, well, and you can't blame him, because
it's a great opportunity for him.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. And at the end of the day,
it's a great opportunity.
What are we here for? I mean, there's people that may say they want to work for next to nothing, but at the end of the day, you have to be able to provide for your family and live a better life. And you don't want to say, oh, well, I came from, the scums of the earth and I want to stay there. Nobody, I don't care what, even Obama in America as much as he started out grassroots and he was for people in Chicago. Eventually, you want to have a family and you can build a home in Washington and live in Washington to have a betterment of your family. So
And
the other thing is,
wait, Philippian, you know one thing too, where we need to understand Jamaica, we had a problem with this thing, brain drain, right? Where a lot of our great minds, we lost a lot of people to foreign countries because of wages, right?
But to be fair, DJ, to be fair, if we're looking at the position of permanent secretary and positions in the higher ups of that were like if we're looking at the positions of politicians, they would not have left the country either way. So that's not. I agree with people lower on the scale that their wage should have been heightened to prevent brain drain. I fully agree with that, but that logic doesn't really fit politicians.
No, it does because some people. It's not in Jamaica like there's a. You have to go to get a political degree to be a politician.
Why
you don't have to. So you have people that's in the private sector that can also have a political career, right? So even so what we're saying is this: people on a whole, from the top to the bottom, to stop this brain drain from the island, we have to pay people better wages. And there was a time in Jamaica when companies look at you and tell us, "Say, we can't afford to pay you for the education where you have."
But you know what is happening now? Hold on. You know what is happening now? The private sector cannot retain pharmacists. No, because the public sector is pulling them in. One of the other reasons why I think the politicians deserve this race is because Andrew Holness came about, him and him MP, them will work, came about and change how you serve people, right? And I saw that most MPs were in the constituency working. And these people, you have to consider that these people are away from their family. They are.
I would like to add to that as well.
They're giving up themselves. They must put them constitute.
Where I live, most politicians, like, unless you're like the cabinet level politicians and like the people in like. Because I've worked with a lot of politicians when I was a nurse. They also worked as nurses too, and they didn't really get paid like that. So that's why I'm also a little bit biased, because the people who really get the most pay in Switzerland when it comes to politicians are the people in the federal council, which would be like the cabinet, and so that's why I'm of the opinion that if you're a politician, you should be being a politician because it should be volunteer and not because and not for monetary gain. I believe it should just be volunteer.
Something what you said, Matthew?
Matthew, you can't really do something like that to volunteer because that's gonna breed corruption. And I don't think politicians are really getting rich off of politics. You know what I mean? There's a lot of these politicians. Matthew, wait, let me finish. A lot of these politicians can go get a job in the private sector and make way more money than they're making as a politician.
Yes, but
a lot of them can.
DJ, you could understand where he's coming from there, because remember in our first set of opposition, in the past opposition, they were depending on, you have money, you can spend a certain amount of money and you get to be a part of a party. I think that's where Matthew coming from, because I remember seeing a video, I don't remember the man's name, it's an African man, and he said any politician that retire rich is obviously is a thief. And I understand where Matthew coming from, because that was what was happening before. If you remember, we have a past leader who is now very wealthy. He's very wealthy right now. He's probably close, we don't know him network, but he's very wealthy. And him think that he not sure, there's nothing to show towards.
What do you mean by you mean PJ? Just say the name.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
You usually make your money after, guys. Remember, it's public
exactly
speaking,
same with Obama
and consulting. That is where you actually make your money.
Exactly, DJ. You have to remember that going into politics the pay is not what's going to make you rich or what is going to make you rich. What makes you rich is the links you build there, the people you get to know, and the fact that you have. Remember, a lot of these politicians, they have information to the Jamaica Stock Exchange too. Same way like in America. And the Jamaica Stock Exchange is one of the best performing stock exchanges in the world. Same like how in America, you have politicians who have access and know what's going to happen in the American Stock Exchange. So that's why I do believe.
I understand what you're saying, but let's look at it like this. How you expect somebody to go out and fight for poor people and go out and do these things when you don't, and they're not making any money to provide for their family?
DJ, I would do it for free. I'm just telling you personally, I would do it for free.
And I get what you're saying.
Let me chime in a little bit. I kind of agree with Matthew, and here's why. It shouldn't be something. It technically you're serving the country, Virgin, and this way you got to understand it this way. In the army, bro, you know we're not getting no money, bro. You know that.
I know. I know that. But it's far. We get too. But we still get a paycheck. It might not be a lot, but we still do.
1 second. But
you mean you're not getting enough money?
Hold on, panel. Even though you're not getting a lot of money, you're getting good benefits health-wise, and you're also serving your country. So I think it have to be more to something where this is something that I take pride in doing because I'm serving my country. Now, along with what DJ has said, I kind of understand DJ too, because DJ has said these are supposed to be the best minds of people who we set for run the country. But I think it should be done the way Matthew said because of this. If we have somebody running the country from their heart and integrity, because them know no money not in there, no money not in there for thief, no money not in there for get, and you're still there, then you're there because you want to be there. So there's a more integrity to the fight than if you're there because you get a high pay, because you know how businesses stay. Now, for example, if let's say the MP I get $10,000 for spending in constituency, there should be checks and balances wherein that MP office run all I'm spending when I spend through Philippines, because she's supposed to be the accountant, and then she got to report back to Wandan, who is the prime minister, how that MP spend the money. So I don't think it should be a high paying job. Me personally, so I agree with Matthew. You should want to do it. You should want to do it because you're serving the country and not because it pay well.
1 second. What did Philippian just say? I didn't hear.
I don't think it's MP who spends money. It's like the permanent secretary.
That was just an example.
No, man. I know.
Wait, Philippians. I'm not hearing you correctly. What?
I'm saying I don't think it is the MPs. The MPs don't get cash.
In what regard?
Like they get it. It's a voucher system.
The CDF is not a cash.
The CDF is not.
Oh, that you mean? Yeah.
The MPs don't get money in their hands.
Matthew, what if people think they're cashing on them? No people think they're cashing on. No people.
I don't know how long that has been in place. No, the CDF came about with Bruce Golden. Yeah.
But let me just quickly explain what exactly I meant when I was bringing up the system, why I believe politicians. Let me explain the system in Switzerland. So basically, most but not all Swiss politicians are paid. However, their system is different from the terms of there's no proper fully professional politician. So you cannot be a professional politician most of the times unless you're in the federal council. So you have the militia system. Switzerland has a semi-professional militia parliament. Many parliamentarians still hold other jobs outside of politics. Only around 18% of the national council members, lower house, and 40% of the Council of States, upper house, are full-time politicians. They get a basic 26,000 Swiss francs pay a year for preparation work. 26,000 Swiss francs is about, let's say, 30,000 USD a year for preparation work. On top of that, there's a daily allowance of 440, well, let's say 500 USD for when they attend council sessions and committees. There's also an annual allowance of 40,000 USD for staff and material costs, plus other allowances for travel, food, accommodation, and pension contributions. According to a government guide, depending on how many days they work, that's their task, total compensation can land between 130,000 a year in pay, or 150,000 a year in compensation, from depending on how many days they work, their task, and what. So you have to put a lot of. So it's not like how you have some parliamentarians that barely go to parliament, because there are some and still I get paid close to enough for the full MP salary. So that's why.
Matthew, can we hear from?
So that's one second, let me finish. So that's why when I say that I don't believe there should be full-time, that's what I mean. I'm not saying they shouldn't be paid. I'm just saying and then if you look at in Switzerland, if you look at the federal council, the ministers, like in Jamaica, the cabinet, the Swiss federal councillors make about 500,000 a year, like 500,000 USD a year. They also get an annual expense allowance of 35,000 USD a year. And there's also, however, some problems there where people abuse the expense allowance, but it's not that of a problem. But the thing is, most of the lower politicians, which would be the MPs in what would be considered the Swiss system, most of them have a job outside of just being politicians. So nobody's just depending on the salary of being a politician. And I think it would benefit the nation more if these politicians could juggle also having a normal job while also going to parliament too. I mean, it's not too much to ask.
And Matthew, I don't even think they have to have a second job, bro. Like, it is not hard. It is an easy way where you can fit in certain things. Like, you may give them an housing allowance, or you might give them a car allowance. It kind of balance out the thing, bro. But giving them a job as, hey, y'all be quiet. Giving them a job and where y'all gonna say, all right, you are gonna earn this and you are gonna earn this and you are gonna earn this. For one, they're not gonna want to retire, because we have been seeing this. We have, hey Sasha Wagwan, we see people here who, years gone back, where them so whole and them now come out of politics. It's because of the salary. Now, if we have it,
No, I said Pernell Charles.
Exactly. It is because of the salary. So if you have it,
say that it's because of the salary.
No,
Philippians, but it's an encouraging factor too. The salary is also an encouraging factor.
If I am there and I'm serving the country, I could consider it as a contractual basic, where I do this time in service and after that I move on. Instead I'm just there accumulating all. Hold on, Samari. Instead, I'm there accumulating all this money, and I don't make way for anyone that is younger, virgin. What we have to do.
That's when we have to vote them out.
No.
We have to vote them out.
DJ, we can't vote them out because 90% of the not 90%, but half of the population don't really have the sense, and them not have the ability to think critical. So we can sit here and we can say that is the plan, and it look and make more sense. But they're not gonna do that.
Can I say something?
I feel like there's nobody's wrong in this debate. I kind of feel.
No. Some people do love serving their country. For me, I don't know what it's going to be like. Like if me and just being in isolation, not doing anything. I love serving my country.
No one is saying that you have to drop all positions when you turn 65. But because I'm going to bring I think you remember who my aunt is, Philippian. So I'm going to bring my aunt into consideration. Let us say if she is to retire soon, she might also go on and advise people on the side. I mean, you can also have advise people on the side after you retire without having to because once I reach 65, same way everyone else has to retire, you should retire, but that doesn't stop you from going on. Because even I remember when I was working as a nurse, I had a colleague of mine who retired but also came by and was on contract for a while and was working a little bit on the side. And I'm pretty sure, and the same way politicians take advice from the older pages, you can still continue to advise the younger politicians when it comes to the future. It doesn't mean that you can still step out of the public light and still be useful in the background and have to take up all the position in the back. Because honestly speaking,
yes,
I
Matthew,
respect.
Matthew, stop right
Yeah.
there. You should become advisors. When you get to a certain age, you move off of the front line and go be an advisor. That is it, bro.
And I agree with that. I agree with that. But unfortunately, power is very addicting to some people. Not everybody, but some people, the power that they feel like they have. You feel me? So that's one of the reasons in Jamaica to where a lot of people, even when them are shoot and then they don't want to step away and they don't want to build up a younger person too. Because you see, you have a lot of things to where I see where not everybody. So I want to make a broad stroke. Some older politicians, them kind of like, them don't want to bring up a young person behind them. You know what I mean? I say they don't want to put a young mind in leadership. And I feel say some people just stick with
VM a chance.
all right.
Thank you guys. How y'all doing?
Hey.
So, all right. You see, 2 points I wanna try to bring up for to be addressed. The first one, do they give clothing allowances to the politicians? Number one. Okay, then the second point is, as far as with these aids coming to Jamaica, there are reports out there to where I see government official address it where 4 containers were missing. Y'all have any info on that? Any updates?
Miss, we don't know about any 4 containers.
I have some information on that.
There.
I have some information on
there.
that. Let me tell you about those containers.
Hold on, let me just, as it relates to politician getting uniform allowance, I don't know. I know I get clothing allowance as a public servant.
Yeah,
Yes,
the clothing allowance, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if politicians are getting that. I know some allowances were rolled in. Yeah, police get it, I guess.
Yeah.
Can I just
when
quickly?
they had the reclassification, they rolled in some of the allowances into the salary and now tax everything. And this is the reason why they tax everything, because persons were going on retirement and they would not have anything, because guess what? They would, the basic salary, they would have a lot of loan on it, and then they would just live off the allowances, right? And when they reach retirement, they're not going home with anything. So they put everything in the allowance, in the salary now, and tax that. You pay a higher percentage to your pension plan, and when you retire now, you will get more pension. So you won't experience old. Hold on, you won't experience old age poverty. So this is very good. That a very good step, because a lot of teachers and nurses and regular public servants were not getting anything in retirement because they were not fiscally prudent in their younger days.
Yeah.
And VM, let me address something that you said about the
401k in the USA.
Yeah, about
right.
the
Let me address
the
one second.
I saw it when it was addressed, so that's why I'm asking.
Okay, well the point is no, they don't get a clothing allowance because they're not uniform public servants. Politicians are not uniform public servants, so they don't receive a clothing allowance.
Okay,
all right, Matthew.
I am required to wear full black, so I am required to wear full black and jacket suit, so I have to get a uniform allowance.
Yeah, because you're not. Yeah,
but you can't wear anything as a politician, any color, any as in jacket and so get where you want. So probably that's what you know.
Yeah, man.
Listen to this now, panel. Matthew, hold on there. You know, say me I listen to the program. I sit down here on the Sunday and I say I just eat some red rice and they I listen to the program. No disrespect still, you know, but here I go on. You see, from the week start, I appear boogie naga me I listen. Matthew, una inspire we. And the topic when I have me, I learned so much, bro. The politician close on them business. They make
VM, hold on. Allow DJ Marley to answer VM's second question.
Thank you. Guys, this is simple question. No one have to take it offensive.
Yeah.
All right, check this out. You see, before the storm, the government had seized 4 containers with spoiled cornmeal, flour, and red beans. Some of them, the flour and the cornmeal had weevil in it. They seized them before, and then they put out and then the storm happened, right? 2 of the containers, they're doing an investigation. 2 of the containers potentially washed away during the storm, and so the containers was at a different site when they confiscated it, right? Okay. And then 2 of them was tampered with. So that's why the government put out a statement say, do not buy any food from place that you cannot verify where it comes from. Right? But what they're trying to do, they're trying to tie it into they're trying to use the situation to tie it into what happened to Buju.
All right, so hold on. One quick question.
Go on the Gleaner website and go. It's right there on the Gleaner website about it.
It's pertaining to that. They say they have videos of a container found with chicken. Is that a new video or the old video?
Old video that.
Old video.
Right.
The old video.
I'm just asking.
And to make it clear, the food in the container is not meant for consumption. So for whoever stole that,
And it's not coming from Jamaica.
Yeah, whoever made it missing or whoever stole that or whatever the situation is, that food was not made for consumption anyways. So whoever is going to eat that is basically I'm gonna eat it and I'm gonna drop down and not have any idea why I'm dropped down, and yeah, so it's not meant for
I don't
consumption.
think a dead person really know why
Thank
that
you,
wants to
Matthew.
steal.
Okay, all right. Thank you for asking that question.